You want to remain top of mind. You don't want to be annoying and you don't want to be appear
Right.
desperate, but you want
Right.
to appear relevant. It's always
Yeah.
important to stay relevant.
Today I've got Brooke Kruger with me, who is the founder of KC Partners, who focuses on recruiting for comms professionals. Brooke, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So KC Partners, what's the story behind the name? What's the KC stand for? I know you're from K State, or you went to K.
Well, I'm from Kansas City, and so I'm in San Francisco area now. I've been out here for over 20 years, but I grew up in Kansas City. My married name and my maiden name is the full business, Kruger Partners LLC, but I shortened it to DBA as Casey Partners because I am proud to be from Kansas City.
I am also from Kansas City. I
That's
don't know
great.
if I mentioned that when we
Go
talked.
Chiefs.
Go Chiefs! Yeah, go Chiefs! I went to the Super Bowl last year, by the way.
Oh, that was a bad one. I went to the one in Vegas. That was a good one.
I'm really happy for you. I'm glad that one of us got to go see the
Yes.
fun one.
Yes, exactly.
So we're going to talk about. I think it's just really hard for people looking for the next gig, and there's so many people looking for their next big opportunity, especially in the comms world. And just what does it take to stand out from this sea? And that's the topic today.
If we look back on the last 5 or so years in the comms world, fall 2020 to May 2022 was a hiring boom. Then after starting in the fall of 2022 and 2023, 2024, very tough hiring years for comms professionals. Teams were getting slashed, tons of layoffs. A lot of people were forced into consultancy, or maybe they wanted to consult, but there was less full-time opportunities. So if we look at today's world, end of 2025, comms teams are staffing up again. People are hiring, but it's still very difficult to stand out.
Yeah, and when you think
So
of comms teams, are we thinking about like the PR side, the like in the corporate communication side? Are you broadening out to
all of
marketing?
that.
Everything.
I focus primarily on comms roles. So, head of comms, chief comms officer, head of corp comms, head of executive comms, and the comms positions layering up to those. That's what I focus on versus specific marketing roles.
Right.
But one thing we've learned is comms is very much needed. It's just everyone's expected to do more with less. And
Sure.
so when companies do get headcounts, you have to really stand out in the hiring process. You have to overly prepare. You have to know why you want the job, why you're a fit for a job, why you're interested in the company. You really have to go deep for each opportunity you're evaluating.
Yeah. And tell me a little bit about your background. You weren't always in recruiting.
Correct. So I started my career in public affairs in DC, and then I spent 6 years on the PR agency side, and I loved a lot about PR and comms, but I decided to pivot into PR recruiting in 2005. And then I started my own firm in 2009, KC Partners, and we are the top communication search firm placing comms talent, primarily with pre to post high growth, pre-IPO, post-IPO tech companies, but we also work with corporations, VC firms, private equity, and agencies.
Dig it. Well, you must like it if you've been doing it since 2005. You don't want no desire to go back to doing the work.
To the comms world, no. I love recruiting. I love finding candidates and matching them with my clients. And I feel like a lot of the benefits of being in the comms world, but I feel like I was born to be a recruiter, and connecting people is my superpower.
Very cool. Well, like you said, there's been a little bit of a history here to get to us to the point we're at right now. People are trying to figure out ways to do more with less, like you said. What are you seeing when you look out, you're having these conversations? One of the conversations is doing more with less, but what are you seeing people getting wrong when they're looking for their next role?
There's a lot that people are getting wrong. I think going in a couple different themes. If you are starting an interview process, your resume needs to track to your LinkedIn. You need to be ready to go. You need to have your references lined up before you even start an interview process. And you need to really, it's hard to even get an interview. So when a job is posted, within like an hour, you see like thousands of people are applying. You're not going to get a job by applying directly, a comms job in today's world. You're going to have to network your way in. So as you're looking for a job and before you're looking for a job, you need to keep up with your contacts. The main thing is people are not prepared for interviews. And companies are expecting a lot from candidates, but candidates have to go the extra mile and go deep on the company they're interviewing at, and again, why they're a fit.
what's happening, I guess, what are the symptoms of not preparing for an interview? Are they just
I
showing
think,
up?
well, okay, so to be the number one thing about being a good comms person is to be a good storyteller. And you have to be able to tell your own story. Why are you a fit for the job? So if you are applying for a job, I would look at a job description. I like to give practical advice, by the way, that you
Yeah,
can
let's
take
say
home.
use me as the model. I'm trying to get a new comms job.
Say
What
you're
should I
trying
do?
to get a new job and you got an interview through an external recruiter or someone referred you in. Usually, what people do is look at a job spec, see if they're a fit, and then apply or somehow get an interview, like we talked. And then they don't really look at the job spec again. You need to go through the job spec with a fine tooth comb and have an example for everything they're asking you in the job spec. And oftentimes people fail in interviews because they can't quickly pull the information. They have so many good examples floating around in their head, but they can't articulate quickly the examples that are going to best resonate with the hiring manager or the person on the interview team. So by really digging into a job spec, you can have fresh examples of why you would be a fit for a job.
Gotcha. And I'm just like, imagine some of the stories I've heard, some of the horror stories of people going through this process, because it can be so overwhelming, and they're just applying to, some of them aren't getting anywhere with that. Some of them are getting to the seventh interview.
Yep.
And then
then
they
the
lose
seventh
it?
interview, yeah. And then they lose it and then get ghosted. I mean, there's terrible stories out there. It breaks my heart. And I think as it's someone interviewing, it is okay to ask questions. What will the process be like? How many rounds will there be? Like, it is best for everybody to have a transparent conversation. And if you're a hiring manager, you have a detailed process before you start the process versus like switching things up. Because at the end of the day, even if you don't hire these people, they're getting insight into your company. You want everybody to have a positive candidate experience.
Yeah,
It really goes both ways.
for sure. And I help kind of like, I don't know if there's a way to sort of talk about what good looks like when people are just sort of doing this really well in this sort of overwhelming experience. They're prepping for their interview. They're going through every single thing in detail. Are they applying to 100 jobs and interviewing all day long? Like, how aggressive and assertive, or, you know what I'm saying? What's good look like in this case?
So I think if you're going to spend your time applying to thousands of jobs, you're better off looking at the job. Who do you know there? Going on LinkedIn. Do you have some sort of contact there? If you do, then send that person a quick note about why you're a fit and have them refer you into the company. Most companies offer referral bonuses. People are incentivized to refer you in, but you have to make it easy for them. Hey, I'm applying for this director of comms position. I think I'm a good fit because of this and this. Given my background at these companies, I think I have really relevant experience.
Right.
So then you send that to someone and they see that and they're like, oh, this looks like somebody I can realistically refer into the job. And so most people are getting interviews through their network versus from applying. So that's one example of what good looks like. Again, preparing, we keep talking about that. Also, being one of my favorite tips is do not be a stranger in an interview process. You respond quickly. Send a thank you after every interview. The recruiter you're working with, internal or external, always follow up with them. Hey, I met with Matt today. The conversation went well. I'm really interested. Then also send Matt a note after. Matt, it was so great to meet with you today. I love talking to you about this and this. Oftentimes people hesitate to send a thank you right away because they want it to be perfect. And they overthink things and they want to have some tidbit or knowledge and show their brain trust of how they know all this stuff. But you can easily send a note to you and then say on Monday you see an interesting article. Hey, Matt, I just saw this article. It reminded me of our conversation. Check it out.
Yeah.
So follow-up is critical.
Well, I'm putting myself in the employer's shoes, and I think about what stood out and the people we ended up hiring. We're maybe a different type of employer than you usually work with, but the people I think about are the people who said the follow up, and the people that didn't send the follow up. I think, they
may not be interested.
Yeah, they're not interested, or I just think, they're not really showing up the way that this other person did. And this other person just stands out completely. And like you said, like I don't even really. I'm a busy person. I don't read every single word necessarily of every single email, but like when I just see that they popped up in the inbox, oh, They followed up. And
Exactly.
that's it.
It tracks in your brain. And then as a recruiter, the hiring managers will come to me. And if I have 5 people interviewing in a process, they may say, what did so and so think about them? The people who have responded to me quickly, I have insight into what they thought about the process and the
Right.
company and the hiring manager. The people I have to chase down, it's not as good as a look.
Yeah. And I will say one thing too, where you think about that networking side of things and you think about the positive experience and even if you don't get the job, we've hired somebody who didn't get the job the first time, the second time. And for whatever reason, it was just, it was timing, it was fit, but that person had also stayed in touch with us.
Yes.
And that person had stayed on the radar, and that person made sure that it was a positive experience. And it goes both ways, like you said, but those are the people that stand out.
Absolutely. You want to remain top of mind. You don't want to be annoying and you don't want to appear
Right.
desperate, but you want to appear relevant. It's always
Yeah.
important to stay relevant.
There is a line between desperate and relevancy.
Yes.
When do you see people cross that line? What does that look like to kind of across desperate?
Okay, that's a really good question. So I find, like I always tell people, check back with me once a quarter. If you're emailing me every 2 to 3 weeks to check in,
You as the recruiter.
yeah, and I don't, and these are people not in a process, say. They've already been with a process or I've screened them. That's hard because I may truly not have anything for you. So the effort to have to tell you that I have nothing for you, that seems like, okay, why do, if you check in once a quarter, I think that's good. I also sometimes get this question like, you want to be available when you're interviewing. And so when people ask for your availability, you want to be really available, but don't give every slot open. Even if you're free Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday all day at any time, it's best to give windows. Hey, Tuesday 10 to 2 is good. Wednesday 11 to 4. That looks better than being like super available, because then it looks like this person has nothing else going on.
Even if you don't have anything else going on.
Even if you don't have anything else going on.
Presentation is key.
And another thing, it's also okay if you're interviewing to say, hey, I'm looking at a few different companies now.
Okay.
That reads
cool.
better to people.
Yeah, it does give a little, okay, maybe I should track this person a little bit closer. What do you think about LinkedIn or just social media platforms in general? Is it good to be active on those platforms? What should we do? What shouldn't we do?
What do I think about LinkedIn? I love LinkedIn. I spend most of my days on LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is the absolute best tool for you to help you find a job and to help people find you for jobs. And there's some tricks in LinkedIn that I recommend. You should constantly be updating your profile. And when you're looking for a job, even if you're not, have a very clean LinkedIn, have a great summary about you, have a good picture, headshot. There's plenty of opportunities to get an affordable headshot now. And then have your background picture. It's like a banner in LinkedIn. Have that be non-chaotic, whatever it is, have it read well. So then if you are looking for a job, it's in your best interest to go through LinkedIn and switch things up, constantly be updating your profile, because you will then appear in algorithms.
When you change things.
You're active. So many times I reach out to people and they say that show up in like a LinkedIn recruiter search and they say, that's so weird, I just updated my profile. And so you're served up to me. That is my theory that I have tested with many candidates. The other thing is I tell people to be very active on LinkedIn. What does that mean? Yes, you can do thought leadership. Don't just post to post, but you can also like people's content. You can also comment. I think if you're looking for a job or even in communications, it's good to be active on LinkedIn, follow people, and I think that will help you in a search in little and big ways.
How active are we talking here? Is this a daily activity for somebody who's looking for a gig? Is it?
I think so. I would be on LinkedIn every day if you're looking for a gig.
All right. Spend 1 hour a day on LinkedIn. This is your.
I mean, I hate to put like, you have to spend this much time, but like constant, check your LinkedIn daily.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's different. There's the lurkers.
Yes.
Who don't do anything. And then there's the people who are more active. And it does take some time you do want to show up and be smart and not
people
just say,
get intimidated by that. And thought leadership is tricky. I post a lot of content on LinkedIn. I also read it 15 times before I post to make sure, there's always that panic you're going to post something. But you don't have to go and do this amazing thought leadership or this. Right. You can literally read other people's posts, like them, and comment on them. That's a great way to start being active.
Yeah, I think the commenting aspect of just social in general, but especially on LinkedIn, is definitely underutilized. That's where the conversation is, right? And
100%.
it's social media. It's supposed to be it's a conversation. That's what
It's a conversation.
being
And then you
social
can
is.
also keep up with former colleagues who have moved on and see where they are. They may have moved on and gone to a new company that you're excited about.
Yeah. Let's talk about AI. Are you seeing that people are using AI in their search or in the way that do they write their resumes with AI? Do they do they
I
click the
think
AI button on LinkedIn and redo their profile?
I think people are using AI for everything, and it is no longer you're as a comms professional, you're expected to be up to speed with AI. And just like you're not going to put Excel on your resume, you're not going to put ChatGPT on your resume. You're expected to know both those things, and people are using AI for so many different things, and they will keep using it. And it's comms teams are building functions and efficiencies with AI, so
Yeah.
it is absolutely here to stay, and everybody should be trying to be as proficient as they can.
So use it.
I use it. Yes.
That's a checkbox in the yes category.
Use it. Absolutely.
When we think about, so we're talking about kind of these are the things you need to be doing: showing up, being prepared, using LinkedIn, being active, showing up in people's feeds in their network. What does a standout candidate look like, though? Just the candidate themselves. Like they're doing those things to get ready, but how are they showing up differently, I guess?
I think in general, companies like good pedigree. They like good brands. Whether you've worked on the agency side, you want to highlight the brands you've worked for. Whether you've worked in house, so that always stands out. People like some bit of tenure. I know people do switch jobs often in today's world, but I think what it always comes down to, like I do these recruiter screens, and I feel like when people can answer my questions without me even asking them. Like they're able to tell me their story so well, and they're able to tell me as a recruiter, my favorite thing in general, I'm a curious person. I like to find out what people tick, what makes people tick, what motivates them. When I was on the PR side, what motivated me was getting results, new business, and media relations. And so I always ask people, or try to ask them unless it comes up organically in the conversation, in the comms world, like what's the work that brings you the most joy? And so when people can be their authentic self and show up, and I can tell that this is what really makes them happy and makes them tick, that stands out to me.
Sure. Yeah.
When people tell me what I think I want to hear, I can see through that too.
Yeah. And it's tough, right? Because sometimes there's what I really want to be doing, what I'm the best at, what I'm passionate about, and then it's been a year
job.
and I need a job.
Need a job.
So that's what makes me passionate right now is being able to pay for my mortgage and my family.
Totally.
So what do you want to hear? Tell me what it is.
Yes.
And that makes it tough.
It is. And I think if you go through the exercise, like ask yourself, on a daily, weekly basis, what did I actually like about this week? What were the projects that I accomplished that brought me joy? Like you have a talk track there, and it is a challenging market to get a job. And you also may want to think, look, this next job is not my forever job, but is it a promising stepping stone to that job? Am I going to learn and grow as a person and as a comms professional? Then this may be a way to get there. Am I going to make good contacts? Do I believe in the company and the mission? Am I going to work with good people who make me a better person and employee? Like all that stuff goes into it.
Yeah. So it sounds like the best, kind of going back to what you were saying, the best candidate is somebody who's a storyteller. Naturally,
Always a storyteller.
They can answer those questions before you even ask them sometimes. They know what makes them tick because that's what's going to obviously help them
Yes.
succeed in this job because they need to be passionate about it in order to keep doing it.
A lot of these interview processes, I have one company right now and I have 3 jobs I'm working on, 3 senior comms jobs, and there's 2 to 3 finalists in every job, and they're all great. So which means that like 3 people will probably get the job and 3 to 5 people won't get the job. And a lot of times, like there's nothing you can do. You can just be your authentic self if you make it to the end, and it truly is out of your control. So you just got to keep trying.
Yeah, because it can be, like we've been talking about, and you know this, it can be defeating, especially if you're like, God, I thought I had it.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, awesome. What happened?
I prepared. I did everything. And sometimes, things just don't work out. Like I tell my kids, You know, that's life.
Right.
Sometimes things aren't fair and they don't work out, but you have to have resilience and you have to go back and think, okay, was there anything in that process that didn't resonate? When I was telling the story about my last job, did that maybe make me seem like I wasn't prepared? Like constantly be self-evaluating and learning and growing is, and have that growth mindset is critical in a tough job market.
Love it. All right, I asked this question to everybody, but I'm going to kind of tailor it to this situation. So
Great.
that question is, what's a word or a phrase we should no longer use in an interview?
There's certain things that I just kind of get sick of hearing. And I think circle back is kind of like one that I think is too common now. I think
Quite common. Yeah.
what I would like better is double click.
Double
I'm
click.
going to double click on that. I think I like,
You replaced that was like corporate jargon with some other corporate jargon.
yeah.
We're going to
Yeah.
double click. You know what? I think we double clicked into this
We
conversation about
double-clicked on
recruitment
that.
pretty well.
We do not need to circle back, but we could circle back.
We could circle back. We're not going to say that, but we will.
Yes, we're not going to
Because
say
when you
that.
double click, you don't need to circle back.
Correct.
Right?
I like it. I
So-
like it.
Replaced. I like it. All right. Well, I think if anybody takes anything away from this, just start saying double click more.
It just
You'll
starts
be
to double
fine.
click. Well, I hope what they really do take away is when they are interviewing to be prepared.
It's amazing. The more you practice, isn't there some sort of a really cool quote about the more you practice or prepare, the luckier you get, or something like that?
I mean, I think so. There could be.
Some
I
smart
can't think
person
of it.
said something like that. It wasn't
Yeah.
what I said.
Yeah, I got where you were coming from though.
Yeah, we could AI. The nice thing about video is we can AI change what I said to make it sound really cool.
Yeah, perfect.
But Kat, our producer, doesn't do that. She usually just leaves the not cool stuff in, which I guess is fine. But
It makes us our authentic self.
that's right. Authenticity is important. Brooke, thank you so much. This has been really great. Really appreciate you dropping all this wisdom. I sure hope that this helps some people get their next big gig.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, and go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs!
El Fango.